Today I'm talking with Father Pedro Cartaya here at Belén High School in Miami. Pedro, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your love for astronomy and your love for creation and how that relates to your love for God and your finding God.
One of my main dedication to science, in particular to astronomy, though as a Jesuit, I dedicated entirely my life to be a good Jesuit, contemplating God in my prayer, but also at the same time looking at science as an instrument of getting closer to God. And astronomy in particular, astronomy has something like an emblem of the creation of God. I am Father Pedro Cartaya, who is a very enthusiastic about astronomy. For many years, since I was 8 years old, I dedicated my life to astronomy and other things as a priest. And now we have a wonderful observatory here in Miami, in our school. And I'm holding now in my hand one of the meteorites. It was a donation of our school family. It is a meteorite fell down in Argentina, in Campo de Cieli, many centuries ago. And it was for millions of years surrounding the Earth as a part of an asteroid belt. And now we have this like a relic, a souvenir of the cosmos, this meteorite. And this
How much does it weigh?
It's made of 96% of iron, 4% of nickel. That's the reason why it's so heavy. Maybe 10 pounds. Life as a Jesuit started being combined with my enthusiasm and passion for science, knowing that science is not an obstacle, a difficult kind of step, but just the contrary. It's a step to getting up, to start getting closer and closer to God, and being aware that has to be a creator, some designer, some people who started creating for us. And that's what I teach my students to say, look at this. Don't just look at the stars through a telescope like something kind of static, something that is there forever, from eternity. No, not at all. Something was created by the Supreme Being in order to get you closer to Him.
Pedro, in Jesuit or Ignatian spirituality, we have the phrase finding God in all things. Is that what you experience in
Right.
astronomy and in your other pursuits of science and knowledge?
One of the most fascinating approach of our founder Ignacio Loyola is his kind of motto and saying that we should find God everywhere, in everything, in every circumstances, from the ants to the galaxies. I mean, from the ants, because he was a priest, a Jesuit dedicated to study ants, since he was just confined in the sick infirmary, and started studying something. I said, I have to do something as a Jesuit. And he discovered in the ants the word of God, the finger of God, the creation of God. And so the priest, Father Seki, found God in the stars, in the galaxies, from the ant to the galaxies, everywhere we can find God. In everything we do, in everything we research, everything we discovered or we invented, God is there. And that's the reason why I like this kind of Jesuit philosophy so much. It's not confined, limited to some particular area of science or knowledge. Everything is open for us to find God. Everything we do. For many centuries, we have neglected the care of the earth. It's called ecology. Our Pope Francis wrote the LAUDATO Si in order to, how to say, to suggest and to invite us to take care of our earth. is the scenario that God has given us to work and to prepare our salvation in the salvation history by working, by digging and cultivating the earth. That's the reason why we have to take care of it. For centuries we have neglected this one. So, as a legacy of God's love for us is to take care of His creation, and the earth is part of this creation. Some journalist asked me, "What do you think? What do you think is for you, and like an emblem, like a role model of a Jesuit vocation to dedicate his life to science and God?" I would say immediately, Father Pedro Cartaya, a Jesuit French missionary who covers a lot of kind of sciences and enthusiastic for everything. And I saw in Cartaya something really almost divine. God made this man like a real instrument of His glory through sciences. So much so that he died in New York on the Easter Sunday, April 10th. He was an enthusiastic man dedicated to the resurrection of Jesus. And he died exactly on the Easter Sunday of the resurrection of the Lord in New York.
And one of Teilhard's better known books is The Divine Milieu. Could you say something about what that means, what the title means? The Divine Milieu?
The Divine Milieu. The Divine Milieu was a book that means that we are immersed in God as a fish is immersed in the water. The element where the fish find his home in the water, the ocean. The same thing, the same way, though we don't realize it, is that we're immersed in God everywhere, sick or healthy, rich or poor, successful or failing. God is with us always. The divine milieu means in French the environment where we are absolutely there and knowing that God is with us every time, surrounding us, all the time helping us to find Him wherever we are and whatever we do. So the divine milieu is something that we cannot escape from this. Like a fish cannot escape from the water unless it dies.
And one expression of Teilhard de Chardin was that research is a form of adoration, a form of loving God, finding God.
Teilhard says something, it looks like a really kind of a, I don't know, looks like it's something too much when he said, the real adoration of God is in the real researching. Search is good, searching, but researching means going beyond what we are doing, because beyond everything we do is God waiting for us.
Maybe just tell us, now currently you are teaching here at Belém Jesuit High School, and you're the director of the Astronomy Observatory.
Every time we teach the student every Tuesday, for 30 years, I start by saying, look, we are in the highest point of our school. For some reason, we are now closer to God. But if you look at the stars through the telescope, be sure that this object you are going to watch, has been the product, the result of the love of God that He has given us these planets, these galaxies, the nebulas, in order to say, thanks God for given us this beautiful kind of a spectrum and for giving us the talent to study this for you.
So, Pedro, I think Pope Francis also makes a very close connection between love for Mother Earth and love for the poor. the migrants, the oppressed, people who are the victims of society. Would you say the love that you have, for instance, and that Teilhard de Chardin and so many scientists have for God present in the world, in the cosmos, is also our same Christian love for Christ present in the poor and the oppressed?
Our God have given us many brothers and sisters. None of them have been so fortunate to have a fortune or money to live a very relaxing life. Many of them are suffering a lot of even hunger, and some of them are even without a job, without work, trying to live the way they can. That is why in the creation of God, this care of the poor, of the immigrant, of those who are in need, those who don't have all the food and all the properties we have in our earth. That is why Pope in this LAUDATO Si invites us to take care also of our brothers in need. This is part of the creation, not just the rich people, but even those in need, not those who are so fortunate in living a very relaxing and very comfortable life, but those who are suffering so many needs. So our mission, part of our mission, is not just to be so selfish, working for our own benefit and for own higher fortune, but also trying to help others. That is why this care of our earth, including us, not only the land, the scenario on which we are living, but even for those of our brothers and sisters who are in need, waiting for our generosity, and trying to live the life we also live. And so that is why it's so important for us to take care of them and to be really brothers of our brothers and our sisters, and trying to make this earth a real paradise for everyone, in happiness, in service, and in love. This is a nice slide with 765,000 words of the English Bible.
Wow.
In just one slide, the whole Bible, from the Genesis to the Apocalypse.